In this video, we got another episode of the Start Bench Cut series. If you guys don't know what this series is, basically I'll put out a tweet on Twitter at xevantanaka asking for 3 players for a Start Bench Cut vid, as you guys can see I did here, and then in the replies down below, as you guys can see, people will let me know 3 different cards. So we got Cade, Penny, Luca, and I'll have to go through and say who I'd start between the 3 cards, who I'd bench, and then who I would cut. So basically ranking them from best to worst between the 3 different cards. So if you guys want to also let me know down below in the YouTube comment section, let me know 3 different cards, and I'll tell you guys who I'd start, who I'd bench, and then who I would cut. So if you guys want to do that, make sure to let me know down below. And if you could do it one position, or let me know if you're saying for one position or just in general, and also make sure to specify the tier, if it's the end game version or the invincible version or just a normal card. Let me know that down below, and I'll try to go through as many comments as possible and tell you guys who I'd start, who I'd bench, and then who I would cut. But let's just get right in here into the episode. First one gonna be from Blasian. He's gonna say Kenyon Martin, Elton Brand, and Bob Nadalecki. For this one, I think it's close between all 3 small forwards. They're all going to be 6'9", I believe, and all very similar at the small forward position. I think for me, I would start Elton Brand. I just love the way that card plays in game. I think he's an amazing as an all-around small forward card. So I'd say start Elton Brand. And then for who's going to get benched between Kenyon Martin and Bob Nadalecki, I just like Kenyon Martin as a little bit more as an overall small forward card. 6'9" at the 3, 7-foot wingspan. He's going to be an invincible, so he's going to have those crazy good stats and badges, perfect defensive tendencies, and also has an elite level jump shot with that full space and Oscar upper. So I would say bench Kenyon Martin and then cut Bob Nadalecki. Bob's still a really good small forward, but I think Elton Brand and Kenyon Martin just going to be a tier above him. So I'd say start Elton Brand, bench Kenyon Martin, and cut Bob Nadalecki. Next one's going to be Danny Granger, endgame Paul George, and invincible T-Mac. So definitely want to be starting Paul George unless you don't like the endgame jump shot, and if you don't, then you might want to go for Tracy McGrady. But for me, I think Paul George just gives you a lot more defense than invincible T-Mac gives you. He's way better slashing to the basket, has a little bit more size, which is helpful. The only thing you can argue is the jump shot, because Paul George also has way better dribble sigs with the Steve Francis size up, and the tray escape is much better than what T-Mac has, the invincible card, which has the T-Mac size up and the Curry escape. So sigs wise, way better for Paul George. Dunking wise, way better for Paul George. Defense, way better for Paul George. It really just comes down to the jump shot. Even though I know a lot of people don't like this release, I still think for everything else Paul George does, he's going to be the better shooting guard. So for me personally, I would start Paul George, bench invincible T-Mac, and then cut invincible Danny Granger. As much as I do like Danny Granger and I think he's a top tier shooting guard, I just like T-Mac a little bit more, mainly due to the jump shot. But I mean, Danny Granger is an absolute beast of a shooting guard. But I'd say start Paul George, bench invincible T-Mac, and then cut Danny Granger. Next one's going to be interdimensional Bull, Hero Chet, and next Wemby. Bull and Chet stay at the 3 and Wemby at the 4. So he's just talking about cards in general, I guess then. So for me, I would say cut. Do you cut Wemby? I think you probably do. Wemby's amazing at power forward. He's 7'5", 8-foot wingspan. I really like that next Wemby, especially for his price. But I think you got to give it to interdimensional Bull and Chet. Now, I would say start Bull, bench Chet. I like Bull a little bit better. Even though it's on his hero version, I still think he's going to be slightly better than a card like Chet, just because I'm not the biggest fan of Chet's jump shot. And I also think, can I spell his name right? I also think Bull moves a little bit better in game, even though... And I clicked on Manute Bull, man. Come on, Evan, click on the right name. But yeah, I think this Bull is still a little bit better than Chet, even though on paper it might not look to be like that, because the stats will definitely go to Chet, the badges will go to Chet, the tendencies will go to Chet. But I like his jump shot for Bull a lot more than Chet's release, and I also like his dribble sigs a ton more as well. And I think Bull just plays better defense in game with a little bit more height and a little bit better of a player model, a little bit longer of a wingspan. Once again, very close, and I think that one really just comes out of preference and personal opinion. But for me, I would start Bull, bench Chet, and then cut next Victor Wembanyama. Next one here though is going to be invincible T-Mac, Hero Tim, and endgame Kevin Durant. So another very similar situation to the Paul George one right here. I still think you got to give it to the endgame KD. Unless once again you hate Kevin Durant's jump shot, like you don't like the endgame jump shot, then you'd probably go T-Mac. But I would say start Kevin Durant, bench T-Mac, and then cut Tim Thomas. Next one's going to be LeBron endgame, Hero Joker, and invincible Lamar Odom. So I would definitely start LeBron. I think he's the best point guard in the game, like by far. He's 6'9" at point guard, 7-foot wingspan, one of the best player models in the game for a point guard. So definitely want to be starting LeBron. no question. I mean, the card's an absolute beast and going to be one of the best point guards in the game for pretty much the rest of the year. And then between Jokic and Lamar Odom, that's a very close debate. I think both these cards are amazing at the point guard position, right? Jokic 6'11", 7'3" wingspan, Lamar Odom 6'10" with a 6'11" wingspan, and they're very similar point guards where they're not going to be primary ball handlers. You don't really want to run your offense through the cards, but they are great defenders and can be that secondary or third ball handler if you need that. But for me personally, I just don't like Lamar Odom's dribble sigs. That Kyrie Irving size up really messes it up for me. So I think Jokic moves a lot better in game. And I also do like Jokic's release a lot better with the Eric Paschall base and the Oscar upper on very quick timing. I think is a much better jump shot. And he's a little bit taller and I feel like a little bit better defensively wise just because of his player model. So for me personally, I would start LeBron, bench Jokic, and then cut Lamar Odom. But once again, another very close debate. Next one's going to be Kenya Martin, Elton Brand, Zion. I would start Elton Brand, bench Kenya Martin, and then I would cut Zion Williamson, Hero Ben Simmons, Hero Jokic, and Invincible Lamar Odom. This is another very close one. Once again, I would start Jokic, but then between the two, Lamar Odom and Ben Simmons, I would actually say bench Lamar Odom. I like him a little bit more than Ben because he does have a better jump shot and is just as good defensively and has that size as well. So for that one, I would say start Jokic, bench Lamar Odom, and then cut Ben Simmons. Next one's going to be Cade, Penny, Luka. I'm assuming you're talking about the endgame Luka. I would say start Luka easily. I think he's one of the best point guards, probably number 2 or number 3 right after LeBron. And then between Cade and Penny, it really comes down to preference, but I think mainly due to his dribble sigs, I like Penny Hardaway a little bit more. I feel like he just moves a lot quicker in game. They're very similar when it comes to the height and the wingspan. Their stats and their badges are going to be pretty much identical. Their tendencies are going to be very, very similar. So it really just comes down to the animations, and I think Penny moves a little bit better in game. He's got the Kawhi Leonard defensive stance, which is super helpful, and then I do think he's also got the better jump shot, but once again, it really comes down to preference. I think Penny's just slightly better, so I'd say start Luka, bench Penny, and then cut Cade. But now I'm just going to quickly fly through some ones here, not going to really explain it too much, but just going to go through and say who I think is the better card, who I'd start, who I'd bench, and then who I would cut. So start Victor Wembanyama for this one. I think Invincible Victor, easily the best card in the game. Then I would say bench Manute Bol and cut D-Rob. Out of position Jokic, Invincible Kobe, and endgame Braun all at point guard. I would say easily start LeBron, bench Jokic, and then cut Invincible Kobe. Next one's going to be Invincible T-Mac, KD, and Paul George. I would say start KD, bench Paul George, and then cut T-Mac. And then guys, the final one here is going to be Granger, endgame Kobe, and Dale Ellis. So if we're talking about at shooting guard, it's hard to rank Kobe because he's more of a point guard, but I would say still start Kobe Bryant. He's an endgame card, gonna have all those dribble sigs, be really good at going to the basket, can shoot the 3 ball very well, and be an elite level defender. And then I would say bench Danny Granger. Really like the card at shooting guard. He's 6'9", has a great jump shot. Dale Ellis is good, but I would say he's gonna have to be getting cut for these 3 different cards. So once again, start Kobe, bench Danny Granger, and then cut Dale Ellis. But yeah, guys, that's going to be another episode of the Start Bench Cut series. Hopefully you guys did enjoy, and like I said, let me know 3 different players down below, and I'll tell you guys who I'd start, who I'd bench, and then who I would cut as well. But hopefully you guys did enjoy, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.